What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Sports and Nat podcast. Sports and Nat podcast. We're coming to you Monday night. You'll hear it on Tuesday. Right after the championship weekend, we had the Bucks versus Packers, and we had the Bills versus Chiefs. We're going to get into both games today. We're just going to dive right into it. Bucks beat the Packers. Brady looked good at the beginning, and then he tailed off pretty hard at the end. The Packers coach is a coward, and that's how I feel about that statement. Do you guys have any opinions?
I don't think Brady looked good at all.
Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Nap. Lucas is also here, as well as Chance. Thanks for the introduction, Tyler.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the games were pretty good. Fucking dickhead.
Fair enough.
As I was saying, so basically, yeah, fuck Tom Brady. He didn't really look that good, in my opinion. I think his receivers bailed him out a lot. He made some, like that one ball that Chris Godwin caught, like in the first quarter. Tom Brady just chucked that bitch up, and it should have been picked. Godwin like tipped it to himself and caught it there. He had a couple throws like that where his receivers just bailed him out.
It comes down to this. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers got 6 points off of 3 interceptions. That's what it comes down to the entire game.
Definitely.
And Matt LaFraud.
All right.
Matt LaPusse.
I'm going to explain myself here for a quick second. Fuck ESPN and their website, because they have it set to just autoplay highlights. So as I was doing that intro, like right fucking now, what is this? I've just ads going off my ear. Fuck ESPN. You know what? We're officially against ESPN on this podcast. I'm making that statement for all three of us. Fuck
Retweet.
ESPN. Fuck ESPN. That's officially where we're
I
at
watch
right now.
ESPN all day.
No, you don't, Chance. Not anymore. We're done with it.
In fact, yeah, it's on right now.
Turn it off. Turn it off right now. Tell them to get a better website.
College hoops are on, baby.
Tell them to get a better website, and then we'll
Prime time.
then we'll be an ESPN podcast.
I'm
But
surprised we didn't have any problems with the fight on Saturday. I heard a lot of people did with the ESPN app.
Yeah, I heard people were bitching.
Really?
Or they wanted refunds and stuff. Yeah, apparently it kept crashing and like buffering and shit in the middle of the fight.
huh? We'll end today's podcast talking about the fight, since all three of us got together and watched it. COVID safe, by the way. We were all safe. All stood in the corner. Wink.
All wore masks.
Yeah.
We all
Wink.
licked different doorknobs.
Exactly.
We didn't
So
lick
it's
the same doorknob. We all licked different ones.
completely okay. Back to Packers Bucks. What I meant by I thought Brady looked good in the beginning was that he didn't throw 3 picks in the first half. He threw them in the second half, I think. I don't think he threw a pick in the first half, did he?
Oh, I threw 3 in like the third quarter.
So, and I think, and I don't know why, but in Tom Brady's older age, they still feel the need to bomb just air passes. Every single time he does it, it's a complete 50-50. Like whenever Mahomes throws a deep ball, you feel like he's actually throwing it to his receiver. Every time I just feel like Brady's like, F it, I'm throwing it as deep as possible and just going from there.
Well, that's the Bruce Arians offense, head coach of the Cardinals. That's basically what his offense has always been. He's always had like a strong arm guy, which is why a lot of people, when Tom Brady went there, they're like, "Why is he going there? He doesn't have a strong arm." Like that's what Jameis Winston like flourished in this offense, because he has that cannon of an arm. He can just chuck it down there.
Mhm.
Of course, he also got 30 interceptions because he's inaccurate, but those 30 tutties were because he can chuck it. That's what the offense is built for. So.
My favorite part is I'm looking at the stats right now of the game. Chris Godwin, 5 catches. Mike Evans, 3. I don't see Antonio Brown anywhere on this list. 0 catches.
He's hurt. I don't think he played.
What a scumbag.
Well, I saw
He's trash.
I just had to bring it up.
I saw some tweet that people were like, "Oh, look, Lev Bell and Antonio Brown making it to the Super Bowl without Big Ben," and I just
So they weren't the problem in the Steelers. Like, yeah, great analogy, buddy.
Well, it's like if you're trying to compare, which I mean, I don't know if Brown's the third receiver in that offense, because I think he's
He's not even on the roster, bro.
well, he's on the roster.
I would say
Behind Gronk. I bet he's at least 5th.
I think he's. I don't know. I think he's like right there with Scotty Miller. Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
I guess what
Gronk and Scotty Miller are above him.
what I mean though is like in terms of like skill, like I feel like he is just as skillful as like an Evans and a Godwin, But he's clearly the third receiver in their set. And Lev Bell, I think he's like the backup or like this third string running back. So they're not even like relevant parts of the team. And that tweet is just completely ridiculous. So if you tweeted that or saw that tweet, fuck you. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
Lev Bell had 0 rushing yards and 0 receiving yards.
He also didn't play.
And he also tweeted out, going to the Super Bowl. Blessed.
Hey,
Blessed.
now we can have a rap album or a track on the rap album about it. Think about that. That's really what this gains is the pure fire that's going to come out of it.
Quick question. How long before either one of these goons, whichever one wins the Super Bowl, how long before that person pawns their Super Bowl ring because they're broke as shit?
Within 11 months.
I would think Antonio Brown would be the first person to do it. I think he would do it first before Lev Bell, but I just think that's because Antonio Brown just doesn't know how to actually manage money.
I think he would go crazy and like throw his in the ocean. Like go out in some boat and just like chuck it in the water, or like play with it and then just like drop it in the water. That would just be like Antonio Brown's luck.
Then it would just be like some treasure hunter would find it years later and be like, "Oh my gosh, look at this! This is the sacred Antonio Brown ring." The other thing I wanted to talk about, which I think about this, if you're a coach, would you rather be careful or just balls to the walls? Because both can backfire on you just the same. Just balls to the walls tends to backfire harder, I feel.
In this game, backfired. I think there was just too many fourth down attempts that they should have, at least 1 or 2 that they should have gone for at the end of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I kind of understand their logic there. Like, yeah, we need points. Like, if we get this field goal, we don't have to go for 2. But I would have went for it. You have Aaron Rodgers, the MVP of the league this year. Like, he's the most clutch quarterback this season by far. I would have trusted him, and clearly he was pissed off by the fact that he wasn't trusted.
Well, and you're on the 9-yard line or something around there. You have Aaron Rodgers. No matter what, your defense would have had to have gotten a stop. Whether you kick the field goal at the very end of the game or you get the touchdown, and if you convert the 2-point conversion, boom, now you're tied. Now you're going into overtime, and you have to get a stop. Then you go into overtime. Or if you miss the 2-point conversion, guess what? You still have to get a stop. No matter what, a stop was going to have to happen by the defense. I would have much rather had it where I at least either went for the points or I had the points. Because now everyone's looking at Matt LaFleur right now like, dude, you're kind of a pussy for not going for it.
Well, you needed the touchdown. Like you said, you needed a stop. You also need a touchdown at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the closest you're going to get. You're at like the 3-yard line. Like, you might get the ball back later in the game, and you'll probably need to drive 80 yards. Like, it's so much easier to get the field goal at that point than, to get the touchdown then. So I think he's a pussy too, man.
Well, and also, like, no one, if you go for it there on 4th down and you don't get it, who is going to be pissed at you about that? Like, the owner's not going to be pissed at you about it. It's not like your other coaches are going to be pissed at you, like, how dare you go for that? It's like Aaron Rodgers, the MVP this year, you're 4th and 9, and you're trying to go to the Super Bowl. Why do you not go for it?
No one's thinking about kicking a field goal, so no one's going to think, wow, they can't believe they didn't kick a field goal. It was just a terrible call.
And Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay. That's now the new rumor. There's more jersey swaps going on. Jersey swaps. This is the offseason for jersey swaps. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh, maybe?
I think he still has like 3 years left on his deal, right?
Yeah, but you still wouldn't take him?
Years.
I would for sure, but
well, and
he's also 37. Ben's 39. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, but like
it's
but
not gonna
it
happen.
would be sick. I heard Mark Madden even said it.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers though is like a way different 37 than Ben was in his year 37 season.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Aaron Rodgers could go like the Tom Brady route and probably play until his 40s if he wanted to.
Well, and I mean, we all know that he made the comments after the game about, pretty much being thankful for this season, and there's a lot undecided for a lot of people on the team. I would put my money on that he's going to be in Green Bay again, but does this kind of make it crack? Like, maybe Aaron Rodgers wants out. Like, maybe he can go somewhere. I don't know where he would go. I don't know who would trade for him. I mean, everyone would trade for him.
I have this really, really strong feeling he's going to go to New England.
I'm thinking 49ers. He used to root for the 49ers growing up. They could
True.
trade for some fucking picks or whatever.
I just know that the Patriots are gonna have a shit ton of cap room this upcoming season, and I could see Bill Belichick saying, "Hey, you want to come win a Super Bowl? This is your fucking place." We don't dick around here. We had a down year last year because we had Scam Newton throwing the ball, and it's gonna be completely different. So
Well, and
that's where I would go.
can they just trade him into their cap space? Like, is that all, like if they just say, "Hey, here's
Yeah.
2 first rounders, we'll just take Aaron Rodgers." You can just do that.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I was also thinking like if you're the Jets, do you just say like fuck you and just try to trade like the 2nd overall pick? I
The
mean,
Jets have been down this road before with Brett Favre, and they traded for Brett Favre.
Yeah,
he
they're not
started
going for
sending
another veteran, bro. They're going
he
to go try to
started
get young.
Old Favre was slanging dong picks in the Big Apple, and they had to get him out of there.
yeah, but Favre also wasn't coming off an MVP season.
No, he was
Still.
contemplating retirement, but
There's no way that's going to happen.
Well, okay, well maybe
Two
not.
fucking aging Hall of Fame quarterbacks from Green Bay going to New York.
Well, okay.
What are the
hey,
odds of that?
it happened. It happened with Steve Young and what's it called? Alex Smith. They both left the 49ers to go to, or no, it was Joe Montana. Joe Montana and
Yeah.
Alex Smith both left the 49ers to go to the Chiefs. So
Well, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be the Jets. Like I mean, like if you're if you're the Texans, do you even try to do like a Deshaun Watson for Aaron Rodgers trade? Because who says no in that deal? You know what I mean? Like just do like something crazy.
I don't think the Packers want a quarterback. They have Jordan Love, so I think they're just trying to get rid of Rodgers.
But is Jordan Love like really that good? I guess we don't know. It's not
No,
like we've really seen him play.
I honestly have no idea, but
I guess
they
that
obviously think he's good enough to draft him while they have Aaron Rodgers.
just comes with, I guess, just knowing your guys and just having your guys. I mean, if you think that Jordan Love's the next guy, then you're set. Then
I think the moment Rodgers leaves, that team literally starts tanking and that coach gets fired because literally, I honestly think Rodgers carries that team. I think without him, they're not very good.
Well, I mean, Rodgers will definitely go down as one of the best quarterbacks. I don't think he'll go down as the best, but he'll go down as one of the best.
No, Brady's the best. There's no question.
Well, yeah, and speaking of Brady, the other common graphic that's popping up on all the sports channels is Brady now matches Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers for AFC Championship victories at 1. NFC. Sorry, I get them back. Wait, is it?
Yeah,
Fuck.
NFC.
I always get it backwards. So that's another stat that's just kind of floating out there that shows how good Brady is. I mean, granted,
I love that stat.
it's crazy. And the other thing is that he has double the playoff wins, than the next person behind him all time for a quarterback.
Dude, he has double the Super Bowl appearances.
He's been in
than
the league
next
20
person.
years. He's been to 10 Super Bowls. Literally half the time. He's been in 18% of the entire Super Bowls that ever existed.
It is just crazy how good he is. And it's one of those things where, like, you don't realize it until it's like, holy shit, like, look at this dude. And it sucks that he's been, I mean, we're all Steelers fans, so, like, we've kind of had to, like, hate him for so long. But now that he's, like, kind of out of the conference, you can kind of be like, holy shit, Brady's, like, really that good. And I think Brady's also fighting off is it Belichick or is it Brady? Where now it's like, it's probably a lot more Brady. I'm not saying Belichick wasn't just as important, but it has to hurt Belichick if Brady wins the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna sting.
I don't know. I'm never a fan of that argument in the first place. It just doesn't matter. Like, it's not that you can't even compare it like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That they won together. And you can't even judge it.
He's the
And
greatest
plus,
coach.
it's only been 1 year, so you can't just judge that. But yeah, it is wild. Brady, he's literally, we're witnessing something that will never happen again unless Mahomes does it, which there's a good chance because he's balling at such a young age.
Well, and I was listening to another podcast, and they said if you think about it, now the podcast, like the guys were older, they were in like their 50s. They were like, we will never see in our entire lifetime someone who's as good as Brady. Granted, the three of us are in our 20s, so we have a better shot, but it's true. It's like we literally might be seeing the best quarterback to ever play football and we might not even ever get close, except for maybe Mahomes or something like that. But I mean, there's still a lot. I mean, Mahomes still has to put another like 18 years together to even be considered. You know?
You just gotta think about the amount of NFL teams that have never even won the Super Bowl, and you gotta think about Brady, who's won it 6 times, going to potentially win his seventh. It's insane.
It's truly remarkable. And Brady will be going up against Patrick Mahomes for the Super Bowl. Great matchup. I thought Mahomes looked freaking fantastic against the Bills this Sunday. Like I know he has his turf toe that he's dealing with, which I'm sure they just shot him full of enough numbing agent that he couldn't feel anything from the knee down. But like, I don't know how you beat that Chiefs team. I really don't.
The Buccaneers defense looked incredible. They made the Green Bay Packer O-line look so dog shit. Like, the Buccaneers defense is the only thing that is making you think this isn't going to be just a Chiefs blowout. But again, the Chiefs offense is just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw a graphic earlier today that showed that the Chiefs basically have their entire roster from last, like their starting roster from last year, except for 4 people, which is insane. Like, so they have all the experience that they need, whereas the Buccaneers only have Brady, who's been to the Super Bowl. So we'll see how much of a factor that is.
Well, did his like super contract kicked in yet, or is it next season it kicks in?
That contract was like an extension on to what he already had, so it just like added on.
Okay, I didn't know.
He's in it right now.
Okay, because I just figured whenever that kicks in, I mean, what is it, like a quarter of the cap is essentially going to Mahomes? So, because I know that's the main problem, is it's just hard to keep people.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it so crazy. And the other thing that just is remarkable to me is just Travis Kelce can just run 8 yards down the field, turn around, and he's just wide open every time.
Every time.
And I don't know if it's Andy Reid's schemes or if it's just he's just that good that he just finds the opening and he's just right there every time for 8 to 10 to 15 yards.
I think he's
remarkable.
He's just that good. He's been that good for a while. He was that good with Alex Smith. He's been that good with Mahomes, or he's been even better with Mahomes, But it's insane. He has a good chance of winning Offensive Player of the Year this year.
And then Tyreek Hill, I'm pretty sure, is literally just a cheat code for how fast he is. Even whenever he catches the ball, looking like completely back to the DB that's about to just tackle him, and he just does like that little like quick juke to the side, and they just completely. It's crazy. He ripped off that 70-yard run, and I was more pissed that the Bills players tackled Hill as opposed to just letting him get the touchdown, because it was like an awesome highlight. Just like, dude, let him score. They're going to be on the 5-yard line. They're going to score. Just let him score and get it over with. Give him the highlight. So I think the Chiefs I think they look really good. I thought they looked great against the Bills, especially because everyone thought the Bills actually had a chance against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got caught in the Bills hype train for sure.
I think we all got hyped.
I mean, I always understood like how good the Chiefs were, but it made me overlook how like really good the Chiefs were, just like because the Bills were so fun.
Well,
yeah, I was rooting hard for Bills Mafia. Wanted them to get to the Super Bowl. That Brady versus Bills matchup would have been insane, but maybe next year.
And I think Josh Allen now has the crown of the quarterback who is most likely to take a 15-yard sack from running 10 yards straight back, even while a DB or while like a lineman is tackling him. There was like 3 or 4 times where it was just his offensive line completely missed like a coverage on someone, and he was just running, and instead of him just going down or just throwing it away, he would run 10 yards straight back and then like run to the side. Like, there was a couple times where I'm like, Josh, just go down, dude. Like, take the 5-yard sack as opposed to taking the 15-yard sack.
Even an intentional grounding would have been less yards a couple times.
Well, and then
ball.
There was twice where he ran off the side and like he just barely got it out as he was tossing it. So I mean, he looked like a deer in headlights in my opinion. And the Chiefs defense was just all over him. It was just not a good look for the Bills. Definitely a bright future for them for sure. Definitely a fun storyline, but I think it's the Chiefs' world and everyone's just playing in it.
Yeah, this offseason, every team is going to try and figure out how they can assemble a team that can compete with the Chiefs, or like at least attempt to slow them down. So it'll be awesome to see who can figure that out, if anyone can figure that out.
And I know we were upset, obviously, that the Steelers didn't make it, to verse the Chiefs. But, like, I was thinking about it. What team, like, the Bills got destroyed. The Steelers would have got destroyed. The Ravens, I think they would have got destroyed. I don't think there was any other team that had a legitimate chance to go up against these Chiefs from the division. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes' world, and we're just living in it. That's all it is.
Yep. Basically, with the matchups they have on offense, it's basically impossible to stop them.
Yeah. So Super Bowl is in 2 weeks. In between that, NFL Pro Bowl. But because of COVID, there isn't actually a Pro Bowl, and instead they're just going to play Madden, which actually, well, if you think about it, it's actually kind of what they do anyway because they just treat it like a joke. So what does it really matter?
It is better than a normal Pro Bowl. I would maybe
Honestly,
actually watch
yeah.
some highlights of this, or at least see what's going on because it's new. But I
Snoop
never give
Dogg.
a shit about Pro Bowl.
Snoop Dogg's in it, man. He's gonna be smoking mad joints. So,
Same,
you know it's
brother.
gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Well, at least now we also don't get to see all the like cringy NFL players who like are trying to make it big, like on the TikTok and shit like that.
Yeah, but we're not gonna see the annual streaker that jumps out of the Pro Bowl stands and runs across the field.
Is there really?
There's always one of those at the Pro Bowl.
Is there really?
Oh yeah, almost every year.
I had no idea that was such a thing. They really have an annual streaker.
Mhm.
Do you think there's
Especially when it's in Hawaii. I don't know where it was supposed to be this year, but
well, do you think there's like some underground like, well, not underground, but you think there's just some club that they get together to do the Pro Bowl and they're like, "Hey, it's your turn this year." And it's just like a super big honor and they just sprint across, balls out.
I think it's a Freemasons quest. So they have a checklist. You can streak at the Pro Bowl. It's one of them. And if you do that, you're like instantly a member.
Damn. We got to get Lucas in that club. Other thing that exciting happened over the weekend was UFC 257. Like I said before, we were all there. Way better than the last UFC fight we saw, which I think was 251, I want to say. I thought we figured out that's what it was. There's actually way more exciting knockouts this time. The big headliner, obviously, was Conor versus Poirier. Yeah, something like that.
Poirier,
yeah.
you got it.
Conor got knocked out second round. Tough look for Conor. Tough look. Memes are everywhere. Great memes. Love the knockout memes. What worries me is that he didn't talk shit before this fight, and then he got his ass beat. It doesn't look good whenever the guy who used to talk shit all the time doesn't talk shit and then gets his ass beat again, because I really think he's on just a slippery slope to being like done.
Yeah, he sent out a tweet the day after the fight I saw, and he was basically saying like, yeah, when you're not in the fight game for like a decent amount of time, like he sat out, retired for like a year, like then you step right back in, you're basically like walking into traffic, you're just gonna get your ass kicked. That's what he said. He basically said, I don't know if it was so much as an excuse, but he was saying that he probably wasn't prepared enough as he should have been.
Well, and plus Poirier was like kicking the shit out of his leg. I mean,
oh yeah,
he couldn't, like, literally the second after the fight, Conor literally couldn't put any weight on that leg. So
Great strategy.
Yeah, it fucking worked great, because whenever you can't stand on one leg, you're fucked. I'm sorry, you're screwed.
Philip would not be proud of you.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Why aren't you swearing, man? What's going on?
I know, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. Once again, ESPN, blame the ESPN.com. Fuck that website. Screw that website. So Phil Rivers also retired. The great Phil Rivers, he retired. And to honor him, I was going to try to go this podcast without swearing. Gosh darn it. Dang nabbit.
What the frick? You've already swore 3 times.
I know. Phil, which I guess we can talk about Phil a little bit. You don't want to talk about Phil?
Let's talk about Phil.
The possible Hall of Fame quarterback. He has the stats for it. How much stats actually get him in or not, that's debatable. But yeah, he hung up his cleats, him and his 30 children. He can now go coach Alabama football.
Alabama.
I also heard that he might try to get poached to get into the booth. Might be like Tony Romo Part 2. Phil obviously was part of the class of Eli Manning and Ben. Probably one of the best quarterback drafts, I mean, in the last 20, 30 years. So
I'd say it was up there.
The mid-afternoon games will not be the same without Phil Rivers down 6 driving in the fourth quarter just to throw a nice pick right before the end of it. So Phil will be missed in the NFL. Let's just leave it at that. Phil will be missed in the NFL.
R.I.P. Phil. Rip his career.
R.I.P. his career. And like Phil's career, I think this brings us to another end of the podcast.
I want to talk about one more thing before we wrap
One more
things
thing.
up.
One more thing from Chance. Let's hear it.
Steelers made a move in the last week since our last podcast, bringing in former veteran, first-round quarterback, big headline name, Dewey Haskins, former Washington football team quarterback, former strip club chicken wing enthusiast, is now a member of the hometown Pittsburgh Steelers. I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that. I am,
excited.
Pretty pumped.
I'm excited. I can't wait for him to replace Duck. It can't be any worse than Duck. I don't know. It's just cool having an Ohio State good college quarterback for once, a D1, big Power 5. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting a replacement or anything, but
the way I see it, it's
behind a backup quarterback.
Yeah, the way I see it, it's a low risk, high reward move. Tyler, what do you think?
So
I might in to get some strip club drama, so that's cool. Mark Madden will love it.
So I think the exciting thing, and this is with any sport, whenever you get a player that kind of sucked, was like a high draft pick, and then kind of sucked on a team, and then they're on your team, you instantly talk yourself into saying, oh, well, they sucked on that team because of this. They're going to be so much better on our team because we're our team and not that team. So because I said that, I can't wait. Even though he's probably only going to be like a backup, or I think he's a third string. Is that what they're signing him to be?
I don't even know.
I mean, who's better, Mason Rudolph or Haskins? I mean, you could literally.
Dude, that's what we're gonna see unless there's no preseason, and then we're not gonna see it.
So I mean, it's exciting. It's nice to know that they at least. I mean, do I think Dwayne Haskins is going to be the next franchise quarterback? Fuck no. I'm sorry, frick no.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry, Phil. R.I.P. Phil. But it's so exciting to know that there's another prospect that, oh, hey, what you remember Dwayne Haskins and how he like killed it at Ohio State? Do you remember how he was like in Heisman votes? Like we have him on our team now. That's kind of crazy. You can talk yourself into it very fast. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's exciting. Young blood on the team, because we all know Ben kind of on the way out. Who knows? Maybe he might be replaced. Other news that broke was Matt Stafford wanted out of Detroit. Possible Matt Stafford in Pittsburgh.
I like that.
Wouldn't be against it. But for
little tutor for Dewey Haskins, he can guide him a little bit. Dewey can learn under Stafford a couple years. Maybe bring in Aaron Rodgers too.
Just bring everyone to Pittsburgh for all quarterbacks.
Yeah, we got a defense. If we have a fucking quarterback room like that, there's no way we're not playing against Tom Brady in next year's Super Bowl.
And we're paying $50 million for a starting quarterback and a backup quarterback.
Vance McDonald retired. That's some other news. So there's some money we saved.
Ultimate football guy.
Yep. Legendary stiff arm. He will be always remembered for that.
But I think that pretty much covers everything that happened in the week since we've last been on. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So thank you again for listening to the Sports and That podcast. Thank you, Lucas and Chance. I apologize again for not introducing you. Blame ESPN. Fuck ESPN. Screw ESPN. Darn it. All right. See you guys later. Peace.